I am consciously competent, or certainly my ego is consciously competent at giving me a hard time. I can see that, but my essence, my divine nature, doesn't do that. As Michael Neal, I think, once said, "What's the difference between your inner critic and your inner wisdom?" And the answer was, your inner wisdom doesn't think you suck. So my inner critic thinks I suck. And the other thing that Noki has prompted me to do is to see, how do I calibrate my 1 to 10? And as Jen talked about as well, she can be up and down that scale depending on how inside out she is about life. But how do I calibrate that scale? Because in the exercise that I did with the client, one of the clients asked, so what would constitute a 10? At this stage, he was standing at 4. And I said, well, if a 10 would be where you feel that the universal energy of life, universal mind, or God, if you want, loves you unconditionally, and that you can do no wrong in their eyes, uh, and knowing and feeling that in your heart. I says that would constitute a 10, in which case he promptly took himself from 4 to 1. The scale had then shifted. So uh, so there's a few things. Let my ego carry on with its consciously competent, giving me a hard time, and just forget about it, and live more in the language and the currency of God, and recognize that people are calibrating the scale all the time. And I doubt if I'll ever get to a scientifically calibrated 1 to 10 on that whole piece. But I think enough people will know when they're living out of the feeling of love and self-compassion, and when they're living out of the feeling of self-criticism, and that and are conscious of that feeling of self-criticism.